Don't you love it when the first words out of your kid's mouth when they wake up in the morning is, "What's for breakfast, Mom?" It can be a little overwhelming and frustrating that good morning doesn't even come out of their mouth first. But also what's frustrating is spending your days trying to do big family breakfasts every morning, getting hot, fresh food on the table, and dealing with the frustrations of trying to gather all the kids and get them up at the same time, making sure that your morning routine gets done before or after breakfast without running into your school day. As homeschool moms, getting started and not having the morning drag on is oftentimes really important. So what are you supposed to do? And what about those times when your kids actually do take the initiative to self-serve? They pour themselves that big bowl of cereal, and then 5 minutes later they're like, "Mom, I'm hungry," because it hasn't even begun to fill their bellies. These are all what's for breakfast morning frustrations that we all as moms experience. So today I want to tackle this problem and share with you a system that is going to revolutionize your mornings. It's going to have your kids serving themselves their own breakfast. It's going to help minimize that question of what's for breakfast, and it's going to help fill their bellies and so their minds or bodies are ready to go for the homeschool day. So let's get started. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Katie. I'm a second generation homeschool mom of 6 kids, and I'm here to tell it like it is, to share with you, help you in your homeschooling, encourage you in your biblical parenting, and share resources with you that'll help you do both. I want to thank Yasmin over at Mommy on the Move for hosting this collaboration. The best part about this is that you're going to get a lot of ideas from this video, but then when it's all done, you can go check out the playlist down below and go check out Yasmin's channel, and you guys are going to find a whole long list of different homeschool moms that do things different ways for breakfast time. So you can glean all the ideas, pick and choose what you like, and make it your own, because that is something I'm really passionate about, is not just mimicking someone else's system because you like the way it sounds, and instead finding what actually will work for you and your family. Like I said, my mornings are busy and chaotic, right? And I need the time to be able to focus on preparing for getting ready for homeschool, or to prepare my work stuff and get that out of the way so that we can be 100% focused on school when it's time for school. So I wanted to simplify our morning system. So we created breakfast stations. This is actually a system that we used years ago when my kids were little. It looked a little bit different at that time, but it worked well. And I think that's something to remember, is whatever system that you create for your family, for each thing in your house, for each thing in your home, is that there will be seasons where it works great, and there'll be seasons where you need to take a break, and then you may be able to revisit again. And that's exactly what we're doing here with our breakfast station. So when my kids wake up in the morning and ask, if they do ask, what's for breakfast, I'll say, go check the breakfast station. This is one cabinet up in my kitchen. This is one shelf in my freezer and one section in my fridge. And that is the things that they can have for breakfast. Now, if they want to see a list of what's included for breakfast, they can check out my pantry door. I've got a list of things I currently have in stock in our breakfast station. So let's go look at that. All right, so here is our breakfast station list. My husband made me these amazing doors that have chalkboard and magnetic. And so we have our breakfast station list. And so right now in our breakfast station, there are waffles, pancakes, breakfast burritos, bagels, cereal, and yogurt. This will change a bit from time to time, and I'm gonna show you guys a little bit on how I prepare this food and make it ahead so that they can self-serve. But that's gonna rotate a little bit. Sometimes there might only be 3 options. Sometimes there might be a lot. Just depends on how much cooking Mom's been doing. So when they wake up in the morning, they can look at that list, they can see what they want, and then they can go to that designated shelf or cabinet to go get it themselves. The reason we do this is, without going into all of our morning routine, if you guys want to see a morning routine video, drop it down in the comments and I will share with you guys how our morning routine works. But the kids all wake up at the same time, but they have different tasks they need to complete before we eat breakfast. So different kids eat breakfast at different times. Some of my kiddos are early risers and they wake up before their designated time. Others drag a little bit when it comes to waking up. And so I wanted something that they could serve themselves and be done when they were ready to eat. And so that's why we have created this system. So some of the things that we like to include are waffles and pancakes. These are insanely easy to prepare ahead of time, guys. Like, so easy. I use a box mix, very simple. Actually, I use a bag mix from Sam's Club. And then I sometimes will add in a little bit of protein powder to it to give it a little more sustenance. And I make these up on the weekends. So on either Saturday or Sunday, I will make a large batch of pancakes or of waffles every Saturday or Sunday morning, and I will individually freeze them with 2 to 3 in a Ziploc bag and put them in our basket in our freezer. Now, with this, I alternate what I make. Waffles one week, pancakes another week. So it doesn't mean I'm doing a lot of kitchen prep. You could do a huge batch at the beginning of the month, and that would be fine too, but I just didn't want to store all of that. So it just depends on how much storage space you have. All right, so those two things are favorites. Then the kids just wake up in the morning, they grab their packet out of that basket, whatever they want, and then they can put it in our toaster and get it going for the day. So that's a great way to have easy things, not have the expense of Eggo waffles and other things like that, and to have a nice filling breakfast. Another thing we love to do is breakfast burritos. If you guys have watched my channel before, you know we love to make breakfast burritos. This is a full family event, and we will get a bunch of eggs, especially when they're on sale at Aldi's, cook up eggs and sausage and all that goodiness, and we will wrap them in a tortilla and then in a paper towel, so it gives them something to be warmed up in the microwave in, and then in the foil, and we'll put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them. And so the kids can pull those out, warm them up for about 60 seconds in the morning, and that's a really good high protein, easy healthy snack or easy healthy breakfast for them. You can check out Money Saving Moms Crystal Payne's recipe for this down in the description below, and recipes or instructions for any of it that I can think of. But honestly, I keep it really simple. Those are really the only 3 things that I make ahead of time. Occasionally I will do muffins, whether that be from a box mix or ones that I make on my own. I love to make pumpkin muffins for my kids in the fall, and I can do those and either freeze those ahead of time or put them up in our breakfast cabinet so that they can get access to that throughout the week. But I only do that if I know that they're gonna get through them all in that week, which usually they do. Those are pretty fun specialty things that we have in our breakfast station. Now, the other things in our breakfast stations are things like bagels, things like individual oatmeal packets. So I started this several years ago, and instead of buying oatmeal packets, which are more expensive, I would just buy a big box of quick oats, and you can make your own packets by putting, I think it's about 3/4 of a cup of oats into a bag, but obviously if you have older kids or younger kids, you can adjust that amount. You put in a little bit of brown sugar, like a teaspoon of brown sugar in the bag. If you typically like to add dried fruit or anything like that to it, you can add that in the bag as well. And then just have it ready. Your kids can dump that into the bowl and add a little bit of water and pop it in the microwave, and they are good to go on breakfast for that morning. But this is so much easier and so much cheaper than buying oatmeal packets. But you can totally do oatmeal packets too if you want to keep life easy. No judgment here. Now, with all the things that we've talked about here, a lot of these are carbs. I do incorporate, like I said, protein powder and things like that when I can, but these give them some bursts of energy first thing in the morning. They're usually pretty filling. However, we also want to add a little bit extra for nutritional value. So a lot of times I will have yogurt in the fridge, whether it is some weeks we go easy and we just do a Go-Gurt tube from Sam's Club. Other weeks I will actually make yogurt in our Instapot, and so I will have that available that they can add their own flavoring to. And I always have fruit available in our fruit basket. So in the morning, they know they can pick one of those main things off of the list. They can grab one of those for breakfast, and then they can either add fruit or yogurt to that. If it's something smaller, I have no problem if they add both, but I just don't want them to burn through all the food in the house in the first, day of the week. But anyways, this has made it where they can have a really filling breakfast, very, very easy. And I'm completely hands-off during this time. If you guys watch my video on how tips for working homeschooling moms, ones that are trying to balance having that, bringing in that income as well as educating their kids, you know that my morning time is my work time. This is the time I get all my work. I try to get it out of the way before the kids wake up and before we start school, so that when we're in school, I'm 100% focused and there in the moment. And so I don't have time to be working with a lot of kids. With the little ones who are not able to prepare their food on their own or get it all out on their own, they have older siblings who can jump in and help, but for the most part, all of my kids can self-serve, even the babies. Now, we don't typically have cereal in our breakfast station. Right now we have it, but we don't typically have it. If we do, however, I have found that pre-portioning the bags, but I frequently had kids that were getting way too much and weren't finishing it, and or we were going through cereal really, really, really fast. And I don't want them to fill up on sugary cereals. That's not my desire. So we don't do that on a typical basis. We usually save cereal for Sunday mornings when we need to get out the door for Sunday school and church, but it is an easy option. And if you do individually bag it in the size that you want for your child and the portion size you want, you can help have better portion control and you can keep yourselves from going through so much waste. Now, I've mentioned a lot of things that I put in baggies. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, Katie, this is not very eco-friendly to have all these baggies. I know. I'm aware, and I'm very open to other options. If you guys want to drop them down in the comments, I would love to hear your other options. However, our solution to this is really simple right now. We actually reuse our baggies a lot, like until they're falling apart a lot. And so I have a basket here in our drawer system over here. I have a little basket, and the kids know that after they take out whatever item it is, be it a waffle or oatmeal mix or cereal or any of those things, they can take it out, cook it, and then they just take that bag and they put it in that basket. So then I will kind of rinse those out, wash them, and then put like items in there for the future. So we do reuse the bags a lot. Much more than if we bought prepackaged food. However, I am open. I have looked into resaleable bags, but they are crazy expensive, especially for the quantity that I would need. But if you guys know something I don't know, please, please, please let me know. I'm very, very open to this, to thinking through how to do the system without so many plastic baggies. But it has been great for our family. So as simple as that sounds, I hope it gives you some ideas of what you can cook for breakfast and how you can present it in a way that your kids can do it in a self-serve manner and can be actually filled before going into your homeschool day. Now be sure to stick around if you enjoyed this video, because next week I'm going to be sharing how I put my meals on autopilot when it comes to our dinners. I've already got a video on snacks and on lunches. If you guys want to check those out, you can find those in this playlist right here. And be sure to check out the playlist of all the other great breakfast ideas right here. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.